What's up, family? Welcome back to another legendary reaction video. Let's go.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if
Quick question, family. Do you feel like the current president that we have today is competent enough to continue to go on to even finish out this term before the election? And do you guys really think that you can go another 4 more years with the current president that we have? Comment down below because I'm curious.
we finally beat Medicare.
The 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Folks, how are you? Great to be here. Thank you.
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World.
So, family, do you guys believe that we will go to World War III if President Biden was still, taking office for another 4 years? And comment down below, why do you believe that? I mean, I don't really have a clear understanding on that, but I would actually like you guys' help on that statement from Donald Trump.
World War III.
You want a World War III? Let him follow and win, and let Putin say, "Do what you want, NATO."
I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true.
Okay. I'm more so focused on policy and where this nation is going or this country is going in the direction it's going, rather than personal direct or indirect subliminals attacking the other person's attacking the other person. You know what I'm saying? The smart little comebacks. I'm not really into those antics right now. I believe that as far as it being a debate, we need to hone in on things that really matter and stop trying to switch up the narrative or take things off track and what we really need to focus on. And I want to see their responses to the migrant crisis going on, most importantly. So,
The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who are convicted, deserves to be convicted. The crimes that you are still charged.
if correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm always open to the possibility of being wrong. But Donald Trump backed it up with facts from what I believe in regards of Nancy Pelosi admitting, and alongside her daughter actually admitting that it was her fault for the Capitol Hill riot, due to Donald Trump saying that he did actually ask for the National Guard to take place to avoid anything bad happening from the enormous crowd of people, and Nancy Pelosi denied that protection that he wanted to grant her with National Guard and things taking place up in the Capitol Hill. If I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, family, but I believe that was what's said. I did watch a little bit of the debate, but after Donald Trump stated that, he just kept mentioning that he initiated the whole riot. So I don't really, but if you want to be technical, I think this happened in 1977 or 1972, somewhere around that, where the same thing happened where the Capitol Hill there was a riot or so forth with the Democratic Party back then. So history repeating itself, because I believe this happened before with the Capitol Hill riot, and it hasn't been the first time, but I do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Donald Trump did grant protection and the parties such as Nancy Pelosi declined, and Nancy Pelosi's daughter actually came out and admitted it and felt like it was her fault for that whole event happening. That they keep trying to switch and swap the story and blame Donald Trump for initiating that riot or caught or whatever the case may be.
And think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about?
What does that have to do with the policies and the actions that you're taking to make sure that this country is up and running the right way and going in the right direction? What about inflation, the migrant crisis, jobs, the job market being so inflated? Like, what about these things? You know what I'm saying? Those legal proceedings played out, and everybody has their stance on, you know, the Democratic Party trying to find a way to stop their opponent, such as being a presidential candidate. So they had to find things and charges and so forth to stake. That's one narrative. And then another thing is, that's one narrative of the Democrats trying to stop their presidential or their candidate that's going up against them as as a presidential candidate, possibly president. So they're trying to find, the whole narrative is finding a reason on Donald Trump to attack his character, let alone attack his campaign, but it actually helped his campaign with all the publicity, let alone putting his campaign at a halt due to these accusations that came out of nowhere. And, you know, the whole narrative, it was a setup to try to damage Donald Trump's reputation so he can stop running for president. So then the Democrats can have a smooth selling Milky Way of peaches and cream way of being reelected again for Biden. That's one narrative. And then the other narrative is that is true based on legal proceedings. However, I feel like for a certain standpoint, if you always have to find a reason to go after someone, the person that's constantly doing the accusing, trust me, they have some laundry in their backyard that they don't want to be shown, because they come after this man for every single thing for me, and it may be because I take the narrow road at times, I really focus on policy, but then sometimes you cannot sit here and wonder, why do they keep trying to attack this man's reputation and him as a man, and coming after him with all these sporadic things that should have been up to the forefront when he first ran for president? That's my question. Comment down below, family, why you think that, because all these things come out this presidential election that's going to take place this upcoming year. So I don't know, man. It's mind-boggling. But I'm focused on policy, and I'm not getting into the whole personalized warfare of this person did this and this person did that. What is going to be in the long run the best interest for all of us as we the people and the country?
You have the morals of an alley cat.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star. Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one. And, you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's it. Anyway, just take a look at what he says he is, and take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was...
I do remember this question. This was the question of, whatever the results may be, do Donald Trump accept the result on whatever it may be if he is elected or not? You know, and it being a fair election, you know, yes or no.
Ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely. There's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country.
There's no evidence of that at all. And I tell you what,
The migrant crisis. Where's the accountability, bro?
I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea, if you lose again, you accept anything.
This is personal.
You can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his four-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
That's personal, bro. Like, bro, what are we talking about? You talking about the last year, the last election, Trump being a loser, all these personal attacks, bro. Where's the actual factual things we need to be talking about? What are you doing as a current president? What can you do now? The thing, man.
What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%.
Oh, nah, bro. You can't keep taxing the people. That is not going to work, bro. You keep slamming the people that work their hard-earned money, work their hard-earned way to be successful. You can't keep taxing and slamming and increasing the taxes on the people. What about this frivolous spending here? It doesn't matter how much money you receive if you want to go that route of taxing, but what are you getting out of it? We're already look at inflation, man, taking place. There's no middle class nowadays. There's no middle class working people. They don't exist. It's going to be just blown away and washed away. Come on, man.
5%, either one of those numbers.
That's just my opinion.
They'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care.
It's crazy because I'm just thinking about it because I remember watching a little bit with Social Security. You keep taxing the people that actually fund Social Security, but then you keep giving the migrants that coming over here illegal, not going the right way with legal proceedings and going about things the right way to come in this country, as long as it's the right way, because I always stand for and advocate doing the right thing, that you have trillionaires you want to tax and the hardcore working people that work every day is being taxed to put back in Medicaid, to put back in Social Security. And the simple fact is you keep having migrants come over here illegally, taking jobs, and then on top of it, giving them free food, free health care, top of the line health care, Social Security. That the individuals you want to tax is putting money into, and these people not putting no money into it, but they're benefiting from it, coming over here illegally, committing crimes, and then on top of it, you want to tax more of the people? My question, family, is who do you feel has caused the inflation? From Donald Trump running and Joe Biden. Who do you think contribute to the hardcore inflation that is taking place today, let alone a recession? My opinion, I say Biden. Even when we had COVID, inflation wasn't wild. It wasn't how it is now, even during COVID, bro.
Elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Dealing
Bro, what
with
is he saying?
everything we have to do with.
With COVID, dealing with everything we have to do. With the what? What did you do with the what? When? Bro.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
We finally beat.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare. We have the greatest economy in the history of our country.
He is destroying Medicare.
We have
because you keep trying to sit there and offer more of what's being washed up because there's nothing to fund Medicare. The people you keep trying to hone in and saddle with taxes, inflation, people can't afford groceries like that, bro. The people that's receiving the Medicare is the people that's not putting into it. And then the people that work to put in Medicare, it's hard to get Medicare because they work. And most likely, most of the time, they take the package or whatever they get from the health benefits from the job, which is the employer they work for. What about the seniors, man? The veterans. Shout out to the veterans. They're getting taken away from which things are their livelihood, like Medicare and the things they earned to be on this country and represent this country and contribute as hardworking American citizens, a part of America. They aren't receiving much of anything or far away much of nothing, but the individuals come over here are receiving top of the line everything. Squeezing everything out of it, the resources and benefit, and just giving to. Senior housing. Seniors don't even have a place to live like that, man.
Done so well.
Veterans don't have a place to live.
Was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had.
They need to do an apartment that actually goes over how these presidents, like Trump, businessman, successful businessman, focuses. He doesn't condone, from my opinion, in frivolous spending. It has to be a purpose behind it, and it has to be what is the reason and the impact that it'll be on the other side of the coin instead of just throwing out money. They need to make a department or someone that watches over this frivolous spending. You know, for example, like IRS. I feel like there needs to be an IRS over the president. Like there needs to be some type of department that watches over the funds that's being allocated so this frivolous spending can stop taking place, because if not, you'll have presidential elects or presidents for future years to come just doing what they want with the money, and then you get a good president that got to clean it up. But then the poor decisions to put the country in the wrong direction, that may take years to clean it up. That 4 years can't withstand it from whatever current president is trying to do the right thing. Somebody has to monitor these things, man. Someone has to oversee these things. The same way we're overseen as citizens for our taxes and so forth, you know?
In 1929, by the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars and so many other things. Everything was rocking good.
The idea that they're going to, I've been proposing that everybody, they pay the millionaires.
The idea that I got the idea they're proposing that. I don't know what this man's saying right now.
Pay 1%. So no one I would not raise the cost of Social Security.
And first of all, millionaires already do that thing of being impactful and valuable to society. They create jobs. They create opportunities for people. What are you talking about, bro?
For anybody under $400,000, after that, it began to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share by increasing from 1%.
This is crazy.
To be able to guarantee
this is crazy.
The program for life. I've passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history.
Nah, this is one thing I do agree with Biden on further than anything else. I agree with the climate and clear pollution and stuff like that. That's it. Nothing else, no.
In history. We find ourselves, and by the way, black colleges, I came up with $15 billion for HBCUs.
Donald Trump, the one that helped them and fronted the money, no problem, to HBCUs. Many.
Historic
What are you
black
talking
universities
about?
and colleges, because they don't have those. They don't have the kind of contributors that they have.
Oh, they have the contributors. They just don't want to contribute.
To build these laboratories and the like.
You got to ask these people to put
Facts.
up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas. Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so they're two different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas.
Well, family, comment down below in your perspective of the migrants, of Social Security, of Medicaid, and also war. I'm curious to see you guys' perspective. I'm curious, amongst policy-wise, who you think has the best policy to keep the economy going towards in the right direction for the country, let alone protect the hard-working, amazing American citizens, veterans, seniors, the right way? What do you believe is the right way in regards of the policies that's being brought and proposed from both individuals or both candidates that's running up for the presidential election? Also, how do you guys feel about how Trump is trying to bring individuals to come back, to fund the money? Or let's put it like this. Individuals have to, if they want help with war, they have to ask us, and we have to ask them. If they want help, then they have to pay. Like Donald Trump mentioned from when I watched a little bit, a certain country wanted help with war, and they said, we'll help you, but you have to pay so-and-so. And then the next couple of hours, they sent us the money, the country. Or do you condone in that, where if you want our involvement, you have to pay? Or do you condone more in Biden just giving away all this $60 millions of dollars to war, to fund a war, and helping allies, but at the end of the day, it's not even helping the American people and the people that's here in the country as we're saddled with inflation and so forth. I'm curious to see you guys' perspective. Who do you think won the presidential debate? I feel like Trump won, and Trump blew it out of the water, and he did a lot without saying too much to be amazing, and really won that debate, man. So with no further ado, family, until next time, peace.